In today's video, I'm going to be building this Parsons style coffee table from rough sawn white oak. It's a pretty simple design, the lines are clean and modern, and I'm using mortise and tenon joinery. This was quite a project and I'm really excited to finally show you the process. So I began by visiting Hacketts lumberyard in Palmyra, Virginia, where I picked up a bunch of white oak slabs. These were grown in the area and they had been air drying for 4 years. Now, I don't have any fancy milling equipment, no joiner, not a big planer, so the majority of the work will be done by hand using some of these gorgeous bench dog planes from Rockler. This is the piece of wood that I'm going to be working with today. It's a 22 by 22 inch table. It has legs coming up visibly through the top, chunky 3 by 3 legs, rails, and we have a top. So since this wood measures about 2 1/4 inch thick and I need 3 inch thick legs, I'm gonna have to do some glue ups for that. I marked out all of my cuts. 2 sections here for the top pieces. This is for the rails. These are for the legs. I began with cutting this big and heavy piece into more manageable sections with the circular saw, and as you can see I had to finish the cut with the jigsaw because the wood was just a little thick. Then I could further separate these with the crosscut sled, and I'm going to be working and milling out each of these 3 sections, so the piece with legs, the rails and the top. So I'm using these new hand planes for this project, and the first thing I like to do when I get a new plane is to wipe off all the grease and sharpen the blade, just to make sure it is nice and flat and ready to be used. Obviously this piece is quite out of level, just like all rough sawn wood is when you first start working with it. And my goal is to flatten the piece enough where there's no rocking at all and it's nice and flat so that I can cut it into smaller pieces on the table saw. It's amazing, after you use number 7, which is a really nice and long plane, you get a lot of stability, which is really cool. But then you go to number 4 and it feels so light and nimble in comparison. So just working on getting it flattened. The outsides are a little bit high still. In addition to a flat board, I also need a flat side so that I can run it against the fence. And I'm using 1 glue up to glue up all the pieces for the legs here. And then just trimming the pieces once the glue had dried so that I could get perfect 3 by 3 inch legs. Then a little sanding to get the burn marks off. Next up, I'm working on the piece for the rails. So using the same process again, flattening first with the hand planes. This time I decided to use the power planer once I got one side flat. That did a really nice job. Again, making sure I have one edge jointed before cutting these rails up on the saw. And doing this kind of work really makes you appreciate nicely milled lumber that you buy in the store. But it's also pretty neat that you can get a rough sawn piece of wood to this stage. And I think it makes the furniture you build even more memorable, just knowing exactly where it came from and what kind of work went into it. So I've got the rails and the legs nice and square. I need to do the mortise and tenons on the rails. But next up now I'm going to work on the top. So I got this really nice 14-inch piece of white oak. I'm going to have to mill this down. So I'm going to joint the edge with a hand plane and then cut it a little bit so that it fits within my planer. I can only do 12 inches on my planer. Go through with it, and then I'm going to cut it in half and glue it up. So now while the tabletop is gluing, I'm squaring up and cutting all the legs and the rails to size. I'm doing 18 inches, and that's also the final height of the table. Mortise and tenon joinery. At first, I was thinking of cutting the tenons by hand, but then I figured there are 8 of them to do, and I have been wanting to try out my dado stack for the table saw, so this would be a good opportunity. And yeah, it really gives you crisp tenons. Really nice. Then I'm chamfering the edges of each tenon a bit, so no wood will break off later when it goes into each mortise. At this point, I was ready to cut the top to its final size. I first cut a slice off with the table saw because I had a good edge on the one side that was leaning against the fence. And the final dimension for the top measures 22 by 22 inches. Then I cut the other side with a circular saw to get a clean line, and after that I could do the final cut on the table saw again. And then a lot of sanding. I'm not going to show you a ton of sanding footage because that's rather boring, but this top was so smooth when it was done. I went all the way up to 600 grit. So to create the mortises here, I made this jig where you insert the table leg, and it's like a little box around it. It sets the borders on where the router will go. So it goes that way. You have it all set perfectly inside, since there are 8 of these to do, 2 in each leg. So doing it this way really worked out. When using the router, I carved it out in stages, a little bit at a time, and just made sure I removed the dust periodically so it didn't get in the way of the routing. I used an 8-inch spiral upcut bit, and when doing it this way you're left with the roundish mortises on the corners. And at first I was just going to square them all up using a chisel, but then I figured I could simply round the tenons on the edges a little bit instead, which was much faster. Plus that way the tenons fit in any mortise and nothing is too precise. I'm also using a shoulder plane here to thin out the tenon just a touch to make it fit perfectly. And this kind of plane is really nice to have when you're doing this type of fitting, because you want a tight fit, but not a super tight fit, you know, just right. And it took me a couple of back and forths to get them perfect. And then finally gluing the legs and the rails together. And this is the most fun moment, I think, because all the work you've done, everything is coming together. This Parsons style design here, the legs are literally a part of the top. So now after this is all gluing up here, I'm going to cut a square for each leg so that the top can kind of sit on top of the rails here, and you can see the legs from the top. It all becomes like one piece. I didn't quite trust myself when it came to cutting the corners with the jigsaw, so I set up a stop block, because I figured just 1/16 of an inch too much and it wouldn't look that great. Now I didn't want to glue the top down, but I figured if I added some screws from underneath the rails, then it would account for any expansion and contraction over time. And for a finish, I wanted to use something oil-based, since this table will get a lot of use. A lot of coffee cups and teacups and bowls of ice cream, lots of things. So I wanted something pretty durable and something rich feeling. Now, there are a couple of things that I really like about this table. First of all, the basic design. The fact that it's so simple yet kind of chunky, and that the legs become the top. I also really like that this wood had some wormholes and features which added some character, without adding too much character, if you know what I mean. And last but not least, just the look of white oak. It's one of my favorite types of wood, and I just like the look of it a lot. So thanks so much for following along. Now don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. And let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. See you soon.